Hey, Graham here, back with another video. Trying a bit of a different theme here with the coffee intro there. That's something I plan on continuing. I'm going to try to make one of these, about one per every month. Coffee and a conversation is the kind of the theme for that. I got my coffee here. Today's selection is Starbucks House Blend, which you can see by the intro there. It's my favorite kind of coffee. It's delicious. So good. So let's get right into it. The subject of today's video is John Gibbons. If you haven't heard the news, he's back in the majors for the first time since 2018. His last season with the Blue Jays. He's been hired by his old team, the New York Mets, to be a bench coach there. So that's a really interesting news for Blue Jays fans or fans of Gibby. It's really good to see him back in the majors. This is actually something I wrote about recently for Jays Journal. So we're going to take a little look into that at this point in time. So there you can see there, Jays Journal Facebook page here. As you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. But wow, it got a lot of love on Facebook, over 3,000 likes there. So I really appreciate that amount of engagement. Quite a few comments there as well, over 200 comments. So I always love to get that kind of engagement on a post. I find if I write about someone who's a beloved figure within the organization, it tends to get a lot of likes, tends to get a lot of engagement. I wrote something on Dave Stieb, a few months back about him entering the San Jose Hall of Fame, and that got a lot of engagement as well. So always great to get that kind of love, and I really appreciate it. So let's keep that up. So I'm going to click into the article now. And now, do I have to? I'm going to stop share and then start the share again, because I'm not sure if it follows me. So I'll just make sure we're on the right one here. So this is the article I wrote. It's kind of how his career's come full circle with this move to New York. I think he was kind of at peace with not being, maybe not working in the major leagues again. But I think it was the right kind of situation where, the chance for his career to come full circle, as it were, back in the Big Apple was just too much for him to pass up. So I wrote a little bit about this article. So it's an article about another article. I guess this is a video about the article, about another article. So a little bit of Inception type of vibes there. But anyways, if you click into the article itself now, please note that this is an athletic article. It is require a subscription to actually read the full article. I actually recently got a discounted subscription. It's usually about $8 or $9 per month. I'm just paying the $1 per month. I'm going to try it out for a year. There's some great stuff on there. I'm not using it as much as I probably could, but it's definitely worth the $1 per month, and you get insights like this, like nice articles and things like that. So, yeah, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but he kind of, like I said, he was kind of at peace with not being in the majors anymore, not working in the major leagues anymore, and he kind of heard about the Mets hiring this Carlos Mendoza, who is a guy who doesn't have any experience as a major league manager, first time manager in the big league. So he kind of thought like, hey, who knows? Maybe they'll call me up. And then sure enough, DeMarlo Hale, who is he's back with the Blue Jays, former bench coach. He actually knew both guys, and he talked to Gibbons, and he asked, should I give him your number? And he said yes, and that's kind of how it all started. It's really interesting. If you go into the article, he talks a little bit about the differences between being a bench coach and being a manager. A lot of times he's saying, like, being a bench coach, you're really a sounding board. You want to provide some positive affirmation, and you want to bounce some ideas off each other. They're also looking at things maybe the manager doesn't have his eyes on at the time. So the bullpen and different players and their tendencies and things like that. So it's a really interesting concept for sure. So it's something he'll have to adjust to. And don't overestimate the fact that Gibbons is a guy who does have major league experience. If things go a little awry there in New York, as they're kind of prone to doing, he's a guy who could step in there seamlessly and kind of take over the reins if need be. So it seems like he really hit it off with Carlos Mendoza, and I think he'll really hit it off. They'll perform a good chemistry with one another. And it's kind of an interesting mix of kind of old school. Gibbons has a rep of being an old school kind of guy, and Carlos Mendoza, he's kind of a hybrid. Like he uses analytics, but he definitely goes with his gut as well. So he talks a little bit about that a little bit further into the article here, about how he's not really, he kind of got a rep as being anti-analytics, and he doesn't really necessarily think that's fair. He likes to go with his gut, but also have the supporting information of some of the numbers that go along with it. So I thought that was pretty interesting to read about. He kind of talks a little bit about his expectations of what kind of team they could be. I think the Mets could actually surprise some people this year. Obviously, they're coming off a really disappointing year. You never really know what you're going to get from them, but they still have a strong core. If you think about Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, Jeff McNeil, and they've got a nice mix of young players. You think about Francisco Alvarez and guys like that coming up through their pipeline. So it was a really interesting article. It was really fun to write about, and like most people, I'm glad. I'm happy for John Gibbons to be back in the majors. Back on the full screen here, I just wanted to talk a little bit about another thing that Gibbons has got going on right now. I actually got this book. It's called Gibby, Tales of a Baseball Lifer, his autobiography written along with Greg Oliver. I'm only about 54 pages into it right now. It's been a bit of a slow start to the year for reading, with reading for me, but I've really enjoyed it so far. He may not be a real writer, but he's really funny. He's down to earth. It reads exactly like you think it probably would. And he speaks from the heart, and he pulls no punches. He tells it like the way he sees it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I really didn't know that much about his playing career. I know he didn't have a long playing career, but some of the stories he spun so far about being in the minors and getting to know guys like Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden and Gary Carter, really interesting. So I think I might have to circle back to that a little bit later on, once I'm able to read all of that book. So the kind of the concept of this was for me to wrap up this coffee in a conversation is kind of the theme I'm going with. As I'm kind of finishing the coffee, I tried to time it right. I'm kind of at the end of what I have to say, but so I'll talk about where you can find the picture I'm going to be posting a little bit later on. Boy, that's so good. I've been making art out of the coffee dregs, if you will. And I've been posting that on an Instagram page called Coffee Addict Artist. I'll be posting the link to that in the description below, so make sure to check that out. And I plan on doing more of these kind of as the year goes on. Try to pick a theme one each month and continue with that coffee theme. And I'll see what I can make out of the dregs of the coffee here. I'll make sure to post that picture a little bit later on in the video. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for next time. Thank you.